Well, time now for the very latest from ENCA's Money Desk, and Rafael Madzina joining us with not the very best news this evening. Evening, Rafael. Now, Fitch not bringing us any joy after the week we've had already. We'll talk about that a little bit, but what has Fitch had to say that's dampened our spirits even further today?
So this was very interesting, Iveka. They came out with a report today to indicate that they will be changing the outlook for the country's banks from stable to negative. And this comes just a week after they did that for the country's sovereign rating last week Friday. You'll remember they did the same, and with Fitch we are in junk status already. So they cite some interesting reasons here, things we really wouldn't have thought about. So they say that a lot of the business that the big five do, so it was the big five that their outlook has been changed. So a lot of the business that the big five do in the country is based in South Africa. So a lot of the money circulates within the country, and there's really no safe haven outside of the country. And another reason is that a lot of the lending has been given to the public sector, and we do know that the debt to GDP ratio in the country continues to increase. In fact, Moody's anticipates that this will go up to about 61% in the next year. And this is a really big credit risk, and it's a big risk for the banks because they don't know if they've got the surety that the government institutions will be able to repay some of the major loans that they've taken out. So this is just another indication for Moody's that perhaps they should be downgrading us to junk status as well. They are the one ratings agency that's left that hasn't downgraded us.
Our last hope, but I'm not sure. Especially after the week we've had. I mean, this just adds to just the depression we've suffered this.
That's right, Iveka. And let's take a look at the week we've had. So we had a number of headwinds that kind of hit us from all sides this week, Iveka. We saw those jobs numbers coming in, increasing to 29%. And I must highlight here, this was a very big surprise for a lot of economists because they were expecting a couple of percentage points from 27.6 to 27.7, and that was a major blow, just showing what the Minister of Labour said today, that government really was focusing on the elections more than it was on creating jobs after that job summit last year. Eskom released its financials this week as well, reporting a 20.7 billion rand loss, and this was from single-digit losses we saw last year. So this 18 billion rand increase in losses was a big shock as well, really hitting the likes of the rand. So we saw the local factors that I've just mentioned there really impacting on the rand, but it got worse off. Currently just lost around 3% on the back of the fact that the US Federal Reserve cut rates, but indicated that it was a once-off given that the US economy is doing okay. And also Trump's tweets, they always affect the rand. So we saw it dropping to around 14 rand 73 after he tweeted that he'll impose further tariffs on China, and this is on about $300 billion of goods. And of course the JSE felt that as well, in line with global markets. It's just an indication that Trump's tweets need to stop. We don't understand how his administration works, why he even has a cell phone.